You're live.
Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In the search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time.
Nice little music to get us warmed up. Get close to being live. Well, thank you for showing up. A couple of you there. Rather nice. See what else we got happening here. Going live and tickety-boo. Definitely got to get myself a cough block. All right. Good. And we are here. That's it. It's showtime. So will a few others join us? At any rate, let's take it live. It's episode 394, and I've got plugins for managing comments, Zazzle listings, Rollback updates, listing plugins, and classic press options, all coming up next on WordPress plugins from A to Z.
WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall. And I have the usual great show for you today, but right off the top, you can find all the show notes over at wppluginsa2z.com. And if you got a couple of minutes, I greatly appreciate your time over at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, or in the iTunes Store, leaving review for the show and subscribing to it there. You also subscribe and check out training videos, screencasts, and more here on our YouTube channel, where I'm putting up stuff semi-regularly now. Also, take a couple of minutes if you haven't already done it and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when things come out. Also, follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. You can join us on our Facebook page at WPPluginsA2Z.com/Facebook, or go to the website and subscribe to the newsletter. And of course, catch the show live every Thursday at noon here, and Saturdays at 8 o'clock, where I do another live show, which is just a roundup, a weekly roundup of WordPress news at 8 o'clock on Saturday evenings. That's Pacific time. All that, let's dive right into the meat and potatoes of the show. All right, to start off, I do have a couple of plugins that I have yet to use, but I felt it was really important. You guys might want to know about them and know they exist. These are plugins that have been sent to me over time by various developers, and I've been unable to use them in any of my projects or make the time to go and give them a thorough testing in my sandbox website. But they looked interesting, and I thought you'd like to know about them. They may be something of value to them. First off, one I have here was sent in by Matthias Blandin, and it is a third-party freemium service, and it's called GraphComment. And this is a plugin here that replaces your commenting system on your WordPress website. Well, sort of actually replaces it. What it does is it allows you to have a discus type of commenting system. And if you want to gain control of your comments and you're using Disqus or any other third-party service where your comments are not your own, but they're stored on their servers, you might consider switching to this service here. This allows you to organize all your comments in multiple ways. It allows nice columns, but the best part is all the data is kept on your website. It's kept in your WordPress database. So if you ever decide to leave this system, you don't lose all your comments, such as using a service like Disqus. So everything is right there, located for you, easy to use. They've got their own GraphComment administration where you can import and export comments. You can even, if you've got a previous comments on your WordPress website and you want to take them out to this system here, you can export them out to that. But this keeps all of your data under control and something you can use. It does look like it's relatively useful, especially if you get a lot of commenting systems or you're looking for a way to retrieve all of your stuff from social networks and get it back onto your website. Where I've always been a big proponent of control your own data. Don't let somebody else control your data for you. And I do that to the best of my ability throughout all my websites. So go check it out. It's called GraphComment, and I give it a 4 dragon rating. So the next one up I've got here, it was sent in by Mark Hyton Ridley, and it's a freemium plugin. And this one here is called NiftyGridZPro. And what this one's for is if you use Zazzle, or you know somebody who is a referrer for Zazzle, an affiliate, and you want to sell affiliate programs through Zazzle, this might be of interest to you. The plugin is kind of gives me a couple of questions with it. I mean, it does a great job from what they display and show of allowing you to create Zazzle grids and display them on your site. You can use it in multiple ways. One of the strange things with this, and this is kind of an unusual one that I've seen with plugins, if you use the free version, it automatically inserts their referral ID for Zazzle. So you would be setting this plugin up so they can make money, which is a bit beyond me. If you pay for the premium license, which is $49 to $99, depending on how long you want the license for, then you can insert your own Zazzle ID. This is kind of a unique way I've seen for plugins for a plugin to be able to earn income. Oddball one. I can't highly recommend it. It seems interesting. I do like the fact that they're upfront about telling you that their ID is going to be in there. They're not trying to sneak it by you in any way. It's plain, bold, right in your face, and they tell you. So I give them kudos for that. So for that, I give them a nice middle-of-the-road 3-dragon rating. Looks like it could be useful if you happen to use Zazzle in any way, shape, or form. Go check that one out. Hey, currently, this show brought to you by...
Take the work and worry out of maintaining and caring for your WordPress website. JohnOverall.com has 20+ years experience and offers hosting, maintenance programs, emergency support, and more to keep your site up to date and running smoothly. We offer free estimates and only bill you for the time used, not by the block. While you're caring for your business, let JohnOverall.com care for your website. Think of us when you think of WordPress. Visit JohnOverall.com.
Absolutely. And think about me if you're really tired of your current web hosting provider and you'd like high quality hosting that doesn't slow you down in any way. Check out johnoverall.com, and it's very limited. You have to apply to get hosting. You can't just sign up and get it. Very selective about the clients I take on servers. And we are currently running a contest, and our contests are powered by Simple Giveaways, who kindly provided us with the premium version of their plugin to run all of our contests. Very excellent plugin. If you're planning to run any contests or giveaways on your website, check out this plugin. It's got all the features you need, and in particular, the most essential feature being the auto selection of randomization. Currently, the contest, we are giving away a 1-year pro license for WooCommerce Product Feed Manager. This is an excellent product plugin that we reviewed back in episode 388 of the show. It's great for if you're running a WooCommerce store and you want to push out all of your stuff to the different feeds such as Amazon and eBay and other places. This is a product that will help you push your products out to those different places. So go check it out. Go enter the contest. Simply go to wppluginsa2z.com/contest to enter and be the winner. Okay, the next up plugin I've got for you here is one that is very, very useful and helpful. It's called WP Rollback. Now, everyone knows that sooner or later, if you've had a WordPress website for any length of time, you know that sooner or later, you're going to do an update and stuff's going to break. It's just going to go wonky on you, white screen, just break something. And it's usually due to an error in the plugin update. And they happen. It's not the end of the world. You just got to undo it. Well, most of the time, and what you almost always had to do was you had to FTP in, delete the files, re-upload the new files. Takes a little bit of time, not the end of the world, but what this plugin can do is help save that time for you. It is a rollback plugin that allows you to roll back to any previous version of a WordPress repository plugin or theme. It doesn't work if you're using premium plugins. It doesn't help those in the least. But any other plugin, it's a great thing, great little tool to have in your arsenal for helping to maintain and keep your site up to date if something goes wrong. Just click a button and it rolls right back to the previous plugin version that you had in there, or you can select the versions that are available. You find a plugin, you select the version you want, click that, roll it back, and you're done. It can save you a fair chunk of time and make it real easy for you to do something right within inside your WordPress dashboard. And it's something I could have used a few times a couple of years back. Now I keep it in there just in case. And it's helped me out a couple of times. So go check this out. Fantastic little plugin. I give it a 5 dragon rating. WP Rollback. Listener feedback. I am just begging for listener feedback. Sooner or later, I'll get some. So please give me some listener feedback. I love it. Good, bad, the ugly. Give me anything. Let me know how things are going. I'd really appreciate some feedback on how the sound is these days for all the regular listeners out there. I'd like to know if the sound has improved to a nice quality finally. I think it is, but I haven't heard from anybody. So let me know. I would really appreciate it. Let me know on the show, send me a tweet, here on the Facebook page, any place. Working hard at getting the sound. I do have another microphone coming that'll help me get me a little bit clearer of a voice. That should be ready by next week. This show also a value for value model, meaning if you get any value out of it, please give some value back. And in that vein, I'd like to acknowledge those who have supported the show over the past weeks. All donations $50 and over, they get their note read out here on the show. For all those under, I'd like to just thank you very much, and they remain anonymous. This week here, I would like to just thank out the Patreon donors. Yes, I've been paid on that, and I really appreciate it. Those small donations really help the show out. If you would like to help the show out, you can go to Patreon or simply go to wppluginsa2z.com/donate to donate to the show. Select any amount you want and donate via PayPal. That would be greatly appreciated. None of the donations actually ever make it into my pocket. They help pay the costs that the show incurs, such as transcripts, server bandwidth, etc. But I really appreciate all support in the show. Glad the sound is reliable for you, Hemiden. Really appreciate it. I'm also after the ones that pick it up through the podcast because it's a different recording that goes out through the podcast feed on iTunes. So you're listening live, so that the live one, Google helps clean that one up for me quite nicely. Even when I've messed it up in the past, they've cleaned it up amazingly. But I've been working on my one that goes out to the podcast feed. Okay. Final plugin I've got here for you before we get to the Classic Press plugin. The next one up I've got is the Export Plugin Details. This is a nice little simple plugin, and this one here has a use if you are a builder of websites, multiple types of websites. Like I have a set of about 7 or 8 plugins that goes into every website I build. They're just basic plugins that do certain functionality that is needed on every website, in my opinion. And this set of plugins is a list I have. It's mostly in my head. But if you're getting ready to hire somebody or bring on another person or hire a freelancer to do some work for you in setting up a website, you want to make sure that they install exactly what you need. So you can take from one of your base sites that you've built. You can then use this plugin to export out all the plugin details. And that would be the plugin name, its description, the author, whether it's active, inactive, its current version, updates available, new versions, etc. Export all the details out into a nice CSV listing that you can then manage. And then you can take that list and you can pass it on to someone who's going to build a website. Now, another way to do this would be if you've built up a client's website and you've got 10, 15, 20 plugins or whatever you've used. I know I've used as many as 40 plugins or 50 plugins for a website. and you want to make sure that those plugins are maintained and you have a list of them, you could export this list out for something for you to monitor for your clients. There's lots of ways you could use this tool. So go check this one out. It's Export Plugin Details, a very excellent little plugin, and I give it a 4 Dragon rating. Okay, and the final thing I've got for you today is Classic Press options. And yes, Classic Press is going to become a thing. I am relatively certain that the Classic Press community is continuing to grow. And one of the things that points to that is that plugins are starting to appear specifically for Classic Press. And as this continues to grow, that will shed a lot of light on their community. This week here, I've got another Classic Press specific plugin, and it is called Carbon Copy. Now, this would be a similar plugin from the WordPress community, like Duplicate Press, etc., or Duplicate Posts, which is a plugin I use a lot. But this one here, it's for simply duplicating post pages and custom post types with a single click. It includes taxonomies, metadata, etc. And this is a nice thing to do. I know I use it a lot, especially when I do things such as using a template theme and I import test data to help me get the layouts they want. I will duplicate their page that they've created so that I can then modify the front page to my liking. But if there's something on that other page that I like that I might have deleted, I can go back and look at it and say, hey, I like that. How did they do that? And then recopy that information. So that's one of the great things that this tool does for you. It also allows you to duplicate and archive content or change content up and save the old versions of it in another format besides the revisions. And one of the things with revisions I do with many of my sites is I limit the revisions so that I don't have this massive over-bloated database. But having revisions is a good thing, or having a duplicate page is useful. At any rate, this is great for you Classic Press users who might be starting to pick up the show. So come check it out. This plugin here looks great. I give it a 4 Dragon rating, and it's called Carbon Copy for Classic Press. That pretty much wraps everything up for this show here, where I covered up the following plugins: GraphComment, which I gave a 4 to, the NiftyGridZPro, which I gave a 3 to, the WP Rollback, which I gave a 5 to, and the Export Plugin Details, which I gave a 4 to, and finally Carbon Copy, which I gave a 4 to. And a couple of quick reminders. Don't forget, there is a meetup here in Victoria on February 20th, and the meetup location you can find over on our meetup page. Just go to wppluginsa2z.com/meetup and get all the information. I'll be presenting about I'll be presenting about disaster recovery and planning for WordPress. In other words, what do you do when things go wrong? When it hits the fan and you've got to recover, or better yet, how do you prepare so you can avoid disaster or be ready to recover from it with very little stress? The other thing that will be covered is we have Dean B, who will be presenting email systems and how to use them. He's going to cover Exchange, Office, IMAP, and POP systems and how you use all them different email systems. So it should be interesting presentations. If you can't make the meetup, check it out here on YouTube. It will be live on our YouTube channel. So make sure you come check that out on the 20th of February. And of course, final reminder, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more information and training videos that do go up. And a final note to developers: if you want to support the show, you'd like to donate a premium plugin, please just go to wppluginsa2z.com/plugin contest and donate your plugin, and we'll create a contest around it. You get a bunch of free advertising. We get a bunch of things that help make our listeners happy by getting free premium licenses. That's pretty much everything I've got for you today. So I'll let my girl take us out of here. Take care now. Bye-bye.
reminders for the show. All the show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the Friday newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Also, follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can be reached at his website at johnoverall.com or send him an email, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today. There we are. And we open it up for a couple minutes if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, we'll just let her shut right down. Thanks for showing up, Hemington. I really appreciate it. Eventually, more and more people will show up here. I'm certain of it. I'm not getting the information out there. Well, some people, please let me know what you're looking for. I'm bringing information as I see useful. But what I see as useful is not always useful for other folks. The WP Rollback plugin is quite excellent. Oh, there is no optimal number of plugins. Reality, Hemden, I have run websites with as many as 75 plugins with no impact on them. Let's see, on my current website, how many plugins am I running? WP Plugins A to Z. Can't remember. It's been a while since I've looked. And then on johnoverall.com, let's see. Currently on WP plugins, I have 56 plugins running. I have 56 running on that, and on johnoverall.com, I have 46. The optimal number of plugins to run is however many plugins you need to get the functionality that you want, that is not included in either a theme or that you've not written yourself to functions file. And one of the things I've learned recently is that it's not always a good idea to just write the stuff into your functions file. Because what happens if you change themes or you forget it's there and then you've got to recopy that code? The best thing to do is to create your own custom plugin and put all your custom functions into that, thereby creating another plugin. Plugins only slow things down if they're coded poorly. That's the biggest problem, is whether the plugin is coded poorly or not, and how it interacts with the WordPress core. So basically it comes down to that. But yeah, I have had as many as 75 plugins running on my site with little to no drain on load speeds or anything else. And the reason I pared them down is I didn't need the functionality that I had. I'd just gone hog wild. So it's really just a matter of that. Figuring out what you need on your website and how much you want to, what functionality you want. That's the best thing about plugins. But there is not, to me, there's not too many plugins. There's too many plugins if you got plugins doing things like one of my problems was I had plugins doing duplicate content. And it's like, why do I have this plugin doing this and this plugin? Now they're conflicting. Which one do I want? Rip out the ones that you need. Well, custom CSS is a little different than the plugin functionality. And custom CSS should be in your child theme. Absolutely. And every one of my websites I build ends up with custom CSS. Now, one of the things I have discovered in the last 6 to maybe a year now, it was pretty much when they went to the customizer, started using the customizer for WordPress. And shortly thereafter, I realized they added a block there for custom CSS. And that block for custom CSS is more effective than having a custom CSS file in your child theme. And one of the ways I discovered it was useful was when changing out themes, because I had created some specialized custom CSS that really had no impact on the theme, but had some impact on some custom buttons and other things that I didn't want to lose into the new theme. And by having them in the custom CSS block under the customizer, your custom CSS doesn't disappear each theme change. It stays there because it's in the database now. And it also shows up higher on the CSS hierarchy and than the theme. And I found that one kind of interesting. WordPress looks at CSS hierarchy. It looks to the custom CSS block in the customizer first, then it looks to your child theme, then it looks to your theme, and then it's supposed to look to the plugins, although I've had plugins override things. So it's really kind of an interesting scale. Something you may want to consider. All right, well, we'll wrap it up with that. Thanks a lot. If you got any other questions for me next week, let me know. Or if you happen to show up on a Saturday, I appreciate that too. All right, you have yourself a good one. Take care now. I got to get the rest of this wrapped up and put out to the podcast feed for iTunes. Have a good day. Take care now. Bye-bye.